For all of recorded history, civilizations around the world praised the health benefits of silver. At InfoWars Life, our mission is to bring you the highest quality, purest, cleanest, effective colloidal silver on the market today for the lowest price available. You don't have to be a doctor to know. The fall and winter months are the most dangerous time of year in North America when it comes to you and your family's health. InfoWarsLife.com is very excited to announce our biggest run yet of Silver Bullet colloidal silver, exclusively available at InfoWarsLife.com. Now, InfoWarsLife.com has taken colloidal silver to the next level using a cutting-edge technique that is free of toxic artificial additives. Now more than ever, it's important to stock up on high-quality Silver Bullet from InfoWarsLife.com and to help others during Christmas by teaching them about the powerful benefits of silver. Secure your Silver Bullet today at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. Every year we make resolutions to lose weight and get in shape. And the truth is, it's hard, even with diet and exercise, because of toxic food in our environment that is stressing our bodies more than ever before. Working with experts in nutrition and biochemistry, I found that super high-quality nutraceuticals, in addition to my diet and exercise, were the answers that synergistically worked. I can see the drastic changes every day with the amount of weight I've lost, my increased stamina, and more of a twinkle in my eye. That's why we are now so excited to launch the InfoWars Life Resolution Pack, combining 3 essential formulations: oxygen-based cleanser Oxy Powder, the Secret 12 bioavailable vitamin B12, and your choice of super female or super male vitality. Now all available at a discounted price to you and your family to bring in the new year and make 2015 a true success. That's InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. 2015 is the year to do it, and it all starts at InfoWarsLife.com.
The average person's life is filled with unexpected challenges. Unlock the energy it takes to defeat these daily beasts with super male or super female vitality, specifically designed to assist the body in regulating proper hormone balance to create superior vitality in males and females. Supercharge and conquer your world at InfoWarsLife.com or call 1-888-253-3139.
The government's Department of Homeland Security is buying up loads of ammo. At the same time, they're restricting civilians' rights to own and purchase firearms. Can you put 2 and 2 together? Infidel Body Armor can stop every round, including hollow points and .308 sniper rounds, is reasonably priced and fully legal. But for how long? Go to InfidelBodyArmor.com, spelled INFIDEL bodyarmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
Resistance to tyrants is obedience to God. It's Alex Jones.
You know, a few years ago, we had a New York trooper on, Stan Lennick, who defended people's rights outside of the checkpoint to warn people about the dangers of the naked body scanners. And the airport ended up, the state police ended up backing him, and that video got a couple million views, made national news. And I've told my crew, because I see out there in the public police officers being professional, being helpful, really doing a tough job. 9 times out of 10 in most departments. Sure, there's a lot of thugs that end up getting hired. There's some departments that become bad. Some of the unions defend bad officers. But more and more, that's getting cleaned up and reversed as the American people and these police departments wake up to what's happening. In the age of YouTube, it can create the perception that the police are just a bunch of out-of-control demons running around attacking everybody's freedoms. And if we just get into an us-against-them mentality and turn the police into the enemy, that will play into social engineers' hands in different areas of federal government to then create an us-against-them mentality. The way to reform America, the way to promote a Bill of Rights culture of mutual respect is to reach out to the police and the police to reach out to the people and to back cops that are good cops and then to stand up when police are clearly out of control. And usually it's 1 or 2 guys out of a bunch of people, and they'll have a bunch of stuff in their record, and you know who the bad apples are. Now, that's separate from the police state itself that is globally being set up by corporations, being pushed with grants to turn the police into unaccountable robots that are surveilled by GPS themselves, that aren't allowed to make their own decisions, that basically become robots. So the police are the group being scapegoated so often, as we've seen by the Justice Department and others lately, as what's wrong with government. When what's wrong with government is a lot of foreign special interests have seized control of things, and we have a crony capitalist system that picks winners and losers, not a true capitalist system. We need to worry about Goldman Sachs and J.P. Morgan and out-of-control federal agencies and the UN, not with police. We need to try to save the country from strife and civil war, not expand it. We're going to go to our guest here for just a few minutes. I appreciate his time. The story's up on Infowars.com. Adon Salazar wrote a story about it. It was picked up by KUTV News. We've got a short clip of that. Cops escort 84-year-old woman to see sick son after crash with patrol car. She was speeding. He pulled her over, wrote her a warning. She backed into him, 84, clearly freaked out. He gave her a ride, got her car towed. The police department paid for it. And then they relayed her through the different jurisdictions of the state police to see her son. And it's a human act. Like I see cops changing tires or helping people. That is what is fulfilling in life. That's the type of police officer we need. But as a culture, people think service is bad. You open a door for women, they think it's weird. You say thank you to somebody, they think it's weird. It's not the police that are degenerating so much as it's the public that's degenerating, and then you're going to have the police reflect that. We need to really address the root problem, not scapegoat the police. So that's why I wanted to more and more give you good examples of good things the police are doing, to hold that up so that other police will then emulate that instead of emulating the bullies. Let's go to this clip from WKUTV.
I was headed to Salt Lake because I had a son that wasn't going to make it.
87-year-old Helen Skeeter Smith lives in southern Nevada.
They called me about Randy, and then
Helen, here with a friend, learned her son Randy in Utah was in the hospital critically ill. She got in the car, hit I-15, and started driving north, making it as far as central Utah, where she was pulled over by Trooper Jeff Jones.
But he was all nice. Oh, yeah, he was doing his job.
Helen was given a warning for a traffic violation.
Here's why I buzzed past him.
But then, instead of pulling forward to leave, she put her car in reverse and struck the trooper's patrol car.
And I put a little dent in his car.
And he realized it was not safe for her to drive. So Trooper Jones had Helen's car towed, and he gave her a ride from Fillmore to Juab County, where he handed her off to Trooper Jared Jensen, who drove her to Utah County, who handed Helen off to Trooper Chris Bishop, who drove her to Salt Lake County, and to Trooper Andrew Pollard.
She was very excited to tell me about her dogs, her cats, her hometown.
And he took her all the way to Ogden Regional Medical Center.
I ended up taking 4 patrol cars. 4 good-looking patrol boys brought me.
When this happened, Helen likely never realized her crash would touch off a chain reaction of kindness.
To have them there waiting, to hold her hand as we walked into the hospital, it was very, very rewarding.
It may have been one of the best accidents.
I'm grateful.
Now, it was Trooper Jones that did the old-fashioned peace officer thing. We saw the footage of, in Texas, the guy talks back, the old man, so the cop tasers him and starts beating him up. But again, the media doesn't tend to focus in on the positive stories that are going on. And, of course, he joins us. He has a BA in international politics and a minor in Eastern Studies and military science. He's been with the state police there in Utah since 2003. And he joins us just to talk about this. I mean, I'm sure he does stuff like this all the time. This ended up getting picked up by the media, and we just thought it's important to focus in on some positive things. Trooper Jones, thanks for coming on with us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I know you don't have a lot of time, but just spend a few minutes talking about this case and all the attention it got.
Well, I actually didn't expect the attention. Like you said, this is something that a lot of police officers do. We do a lot of things. Buy lunches, shuttle people if they need to. This case in particular, I have a grandmother who's similar in age, and it really touched the chord that she needed to get somewhere, and I didn't feel like she was going to make it if she went by herself. So contacted her family, got a hold of her family, and they stated they were already at the hospital. She kept telling me she needed to go to Ogden, which was actually north of where her son was. And I kept asking her, well, why do we need to go to Ogden if you need to go to Salt Lake? And she kept saying that he was in Ogden Regional, but he was actually in Salt Lake. So I contacted her family again and found out where we could meet up and contacted dispatch. They made contact with other troopers and with their supervisors, and we got the chain going.
Well, it's good to see cases like this, get attention where police officers help homeless people and things like that. But like you said, I think this is something that the police have always basically been doing. It just doesn't get attention. What is your, overall view? Why do you think people responded so positively to this?
I think people are they're looking for some good. They want to see some positive things on the news, not just things that depress you or upset you. And this was one of those stories where it turned out well.
Well, like you said, this is the type of stuff police do all the time. It just doesn't get attention. Give me some other examples of what you've done or what other people in your department have done that doesn't get attention.
Well, one example, I worked with a guy. He came across a teenage girl one night who had run out of gas, didn't have any money with her. He called her mother and paid for the gas so she could get home. I myself have taken families out to lunch before if I didn't think they'd had any food, and it was going to be a while before they got there. They were going to have help coming. This is something that happens all the time, but I don't think any of it's really documented. We don't go out there to do it just to say, hey, we're here doing this. We do it because it's the right thing to do.
Well, I think that's what separates a first world country from a third world country, where I think we can pretty much agree a lot of the police in Mexico or, say, North Korea are corrupt versus more of a free society. I think what plays into that is if we get just flat-out mistrust of the police, that it seems like some of the establishment media want, then society will start to break down, and then that won't attract good people to serve as peace officers.
Well, I got to say, it's different. It changes all the time. We have ups and downs, and things happen, and things get covered and spun a certain way. But in this case, I think it got spun true, the way that it really happened, and the reasons we did it were to help her get to see her son and to help her family not to have the stress of having to worry about how to get her.
Well, watching that squad car video, you can see she can hardly walk on her cane. You're having to help her, and she looked pretty shook up. I don't think she drives more than to the market maybe once a week, kind of like my grandmother, who's 89, who had to quit driving last year now because she can't even do that. I've seen the cases where especially in some of the big city departments, where they would probably have just taken her to jail because she backed into the car and said, you're recklessly driving, which wouldn't have helped her, would have made everybody feel bad later, and would have been a case in the news making the police look pretty bad. And again, it's those rare cases that do that. It's just that the media focuses in on them. And I don't blame the media focusing in. It's just I think it's important to also focus in on the positive stories. I don't want to get you any trouble. But in fact, I imagine you can't speak to it. You're speaking to this case. We appreciate you coming on. But we've seen this recent, just blame the police for some of these tragic cases of deaths that I don't think are questionable in the case of Missouri, but some of the others are questionable. And then there's just this blanket projection that the police, period, are to blame, and that then cops get run over or shot and there's people cheering it. That is really scary for this society.
Well, it is scary. But, in this case, we were able to do the right thing. We got her where she needed to go. We were able to include a whole bunch of people in the chain of command, as far as able to contact supervisors, and they thought it was the right thing to do, and they were able to allocate assets to get it done. We're here to help. We're not here to hurt.
Well, I'm glad you guys are out there doing that, and we really appreciate you and enjoy that beautiful scenery there in Utah. Thank you so much, Trooper Jones.
Thank you.
God bless you. And again, it's just a simple case. Like you said, it's not that big of a deal. They do that all the time. It's that behavior needs to be rewarded, not the other behavior. And I've studied sociology now and psychology a lot more than I did 20 years ago when I was first on air. And I saw the militarization of police and unconstitutional things, and I got mad at the police. and we just yell at them, basically. And then I